AMP Media Productions presents Tell Us Your Business, where you are invited on the air to tell us what makes your business stand out in the community. It's important to hear from you to tell us all we need to know at what you do best. Tell Us Your Business uses the latest radio and television production systems, and all shows can be seen on AMP Media Productions. If you have a question for our guest, call 888-994-4995 Studio A. Now let's get ready as our guest hits the airwaves and informs us on what we need to know on Tell Us Your Business.
Hello, good afternoon. Russ Johnson back again, but this time not without lights in the night. And let me explain why. I want to talk about business. I want to talk about what people are really concerned about these days. Trump is in the White House, and he's making a lot of big decisions that a lot of people don't understand yet. But anyway, it'll all work out because whatever, it was destined for him to be there at this time. And he's going to do some things that be challenging for us to understand, but maybe work out. It'll all work out in time. Business in the United States has always come back from the depths of World War I, World War II, World War III, pushing World War III, the Vietnam War, the Korean War, whatever. We always come back and do things right. And now that the aliens are looking at us, and we talked about that before, I don't want to do the show about them today, but we want to talk about what people are concerned with. Business, how to feed themselves. Eggs, what, $6 a dozen and all that kind of crazy stuff. And we're going to have challenges. So people need to talk and focus on the immediacy of business, how to feed yourself, how to get food, clothing, shelter, information, medical care, and how to get the kind of transportation you want for you, your family, your kids, maybe in some college or university somewhere. And the seriousness of it all is, how do we make a living with a lot of challenges, a lot of people getting laid off, and they don't understand what's going on. And so I want to talk about network marketing, home-based business. And so Freddie, he's seen me with network marketing over the past 10 years or so.
I have.
Yeah.
I've seen you not only do it, I've seen you recruit people to do it. I've seen you encourage people to do it.
Yep.
And it's funny because the issues that we're facing today is dual.
Oh, yeah.
You got the younger, and I asked G-Man to join us today, you got the younger crowd who's probably going to suffer even more.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they're getting started. And then you have the older crowd, like myself, who has to take some pay cuts.
Right.
And less after paying all this time into the system, you're going to end up getting less in the long run.
The system is changing.
It is changing, correct.
Drastically.
Drastically, yes.
So we need to look at alternative income modalities. One is called MLM, or network marketing, which has been around so many years. They was Amway, the Shackley, the Herbalife, the New Skin, whatever. They were 5,000 of it. No, correction, that's a small number. There are about 50,000 different companies out there.
Absolutely.
And people are just a little afraid of it because they don't have the skills that other people had years ago. You know, belly to belly, eyeball to eyeball. You understand sales.
Absolutely. Skin to skin, as they say.
It's here, skin to skin. So we need to increase our skill sets in terms of interpersonal relationships, because there's nothing strange with network marketing. You're doing the same thing you do every day. When you find a good movie, you find a good theater, you go to a good meal, a good church, a synagogue, whatever, you tell people about it. The same thing is happening. Except now we don't have to do eyeball to eyeball. We can text people. We can use AI, which I haven't done yet, but I'm looking at that. You got the bot, you got the agent. So you got the systems now with the internet that you can hit the big numbers, and it's all a numbers game. Network marketing is a numbers game. And I'll talk about the first time I made any money with it after my struggles with it, because I didn't understand what to do until I met one guy. He had been in this program 18 months, and he was making $33,000 a month from home. And I said, what are you doing? How do you do that? He said, well, I talk to 2 people every day, and then I do a meeting every week. I bring them all back to take a second, third look, and bring their friends, relatives, acquaintances to take a look at this industry. And so I said, what else? He said, that's it. I said, come on. You're making $33,000 a month, only 18 months in the program from start? He said, yep. I said, all right. So I went out the next year and went to the streets of Baltimore, and I talked to 2 persons every day. I could have talked to more, but I talked to them and showed them what I had. I did a presentation, and I went through 766 persons. I sponsored about 33, which is a low number, 5%. But at the end of 13 months, no, the 12th month, they sent me a check for $10,000 for my group. And it kept that way for the next, I still get paid on that. That's 30 years later, 1994.
Which is residual income, which a lot of people don't understand.
But I got residual income coming in now. I don't bother with it too much anymore, but I do have, residual income every year with that company. So, but it gave me over $2 million. That's just stretch. And then another program came along in 1996 called Tahitian Noni Juice. You remember that, I guess. I got involved in that. It was August of '96, just getting started. I signed up with no intent of doing it because I'm still making the $15,000 a month with the other program. But I did sign up to buy the product. And lucky enough, it was a binary, and the guy put a guy under me who really understood how to do it. He built an organization of 33,000 people doing $3 million a month on average.
Wow.
And I got the overrides of about $4 million then, but it's still, I still get residual income on that after all these years.
It's funny. I was asked to join Amway.
I did join Amway.
When it was starting. It was in the Heights.
That's 59. It started in 1959.
Well, in 59 is when it started. But in the Heights, there was a group that came about, and nobody had ever heard of Amway. And it was this Dominican group. And I went to this place on 181st Street. And I'm going to tell you, I was scared. Because I didn't know what the hell I was walking into. And I walk in there, and I'll never forget that they had a soap that ate through a paper cup.
Yeah, LOC?
No, it was actually soap. They put it into a cup.
Okay.
And it disintegrated the bottom of the cup.
Okay.
I'll never forget in that example of they showed how you had to water down the strength of this soap. Otherwise, it would deteriorate your clothes. So they had a whole formula, whole mixing stuff. Do you know I never joined?
Is that right?
Never joined. If I had joined, this has got to be in 72.
That's a good year.
If I had joined, where would I be today?
Well, you would have a lot of money
Yeah.
today. A guy did join, a guy named Dexter Yeager. He joined in 1962, and he had 5 kids living in the alley in Rome, New York. And he was a truck driver, and he became what they call a direct distributor, for the first level of success. And then it kind of fell apart, because people do leave, because they get disappointed because they're not doing it the right way. And he re-engaged himself in 1963, 1964, and so far he just left the planet a few months ago, if you will. But from '63 till now, he made $500 million.
Wow.
But he's left on the table his residual income, $7 million a year.
Really?
That he left for his kids. Yeah. So I said you would have, had you stayed.
If I had stayed and survived that whole thing to today, I would be very well off.
You would have a couple bucks. Yeah.
It's interesting. I wanted to ask G-Man because in today's environment, that kind of advertise, that kind of sale is sometimes looked upon the youth.
They frown on
differently.
it.
They frown on it.
They don't understand it.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you agree?
Face sales. You talking
MLM, yeah.
And
And
like
like
you said, they
Herbalife.
shy away from it now because we have like technology and
But you
different types of
but-
ads that you could push it out. But I believe face-to-face is the best way to get your stuff out. if you
Well,
wanted to.
it was back in the day, 50 years ago. It was not. That's all they had.
That's all you needed.
That's all you. No internet, you know. But today you can use AI and the internet and the bot and all that stuff. People are now using it, and they escalating. So what it took me a year to do to make the first $10,000 a month, people are now doing it in 2 or 3 months using those other, add-ons, if you will.
I'm going to tell you,
Aids.
the latest craze that I've seen is the TikTok store.
Right.
That's all I've been hearing about.
My
Every day.
my son's wife has a TikTok store. She's entering her second year.
Mhm.
Unbelievable. She won a cruise that she took the kids on
Mhm.
2 weeks
Crazy.
ago
Mhm.
from her TikTok sales, which is nuts.
Yeah, it's at a whole new different level now. It's faster, quicker, less challenging, if you will. And so
And that makes it less fearful.
you're right, because the only thing that stops people from doing any kind of sales, car sales, right? I used to sell cars at one point, or insurance. I used to be with Prudential Metropolitan. But the thing that stopped people from taking the test to go to sell the cars or sell the insurance or encyclopedia in the old days, right, was fear, apprehension, and you have to develop a little self-esteem and self-image
Mm-hmm.
and go do it, or be real desperate to go do it. Have you thought about, did you ever do car sales?
I haven't yet.
I did truck sales. I sold
Oh, okay.
Mercedes-Benz Iveco trucks.
Okay, yeah. I stayed on the lot for 2 years selling cars at one point.
Not an easy deal selling cars.
No. We had a lot of leather on the bottom of your shoes, 13-hour days, the whole 9 yards.
When they had the turns, the up system.
The up system.
The up
Yeah,
system.
yeah.
Know it well.
What do you think is a good business plan in today's market?
I'm sorry.
I said, what is a good business plan you would say in today's market?
Well, I say network marketing. I mean, other things are coming along now, other kind of home-based businesses. But any kind of home-based business is the way to go now. The job is passe. I wouldn't bother with the job. That's not going to last, and that's not going to give you that gold watch after 30 years and that wonderful retirement income.
And they're firing more people than they're hiring.
Of course,
That's all
they
they're
are,
doing.
yeah.
Actually.
So you're going to have to be innovative and creative in what you do, whether you be doing this from home, set up podcasts, so you can have a podcast studio, and you can teach people how to do their own podcasts. That's coming to the fore big time. So there are other kind of businesses, but any kind of home-based business, whatever you like to do, that you like to get involved with, do it, and you then develop it as a business from home. So, but network marketing is wide open, like Amway, the Shackley, the Herbalife, the New Skin. Amway now is that you didn't join is doing $9 billion a year
I know.
now.
Don't make me ill.
No, I'm just saying.
It's true.
It's true.
$9 billion.
Huh?
It's true.
Yeah. Well, here's the annual report right here. $9 billion a year. Herbalife now is doing $4 billion a year. This is from the Direct Selling Association that monitors all this since 1917. Now, when you look at the history of how this got started, we have to go back to 1900. There was a lady called Madam J.C. Walker. Have you heard of Madam Walker? Have you heard of Madam Walker?
I heard her name before, yes.
Okay. If you haven't looked at her history, you can go to look at Netflix. Has a documentary, a movie, a nice movie. It's called Self-Made, and that's her story. It's about an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 15 minutes. Where in 1908, she took $1.50, had 2,000 other people that she put in her downline and made millions and millions of dollars. And, she kind of left it early, but 1919. But when she left in 1919, she was worth millions of dollars. That's serious one.
unbelievable.
That's serious.
But let me play devil's advocate.
Yeah, go right ahead.
So you get people like Madoff, who had a Ponzi scheme.
Well, yeah. So,
Well, hold on.
all right.
He was not offering services. See, a lot of people think that he was offering Herbalife. He wasn't doing that.
No, he didn't. He didn't. No, he didn't
He
have.
was promising you return
On your-
on your money.
Yeah, ROI. Yeah.
And it's ridiculous amounts, and he would pay it the first time.
Well, do you know when he started?
Tell me when he started.
1960.
Isn't that crazy?
Do you know when he turned himself in?
Mm,
2008.
Okay.
48 years later.
I mean, there's
Took in $65 billion.
there's stories that he did not know what to do with the money.
No, he couldn't. The money's in 2008 started slowing down. Remember
The bubble.
That bubble hit, and so he just turned himself in because he didn't have enough coming in to pay out. Charles Ponzi was a master of it in 1920. If you do the homework and read his story, Charles Ponzi. That's why they called it the Ponzi deal. They named it after him. He was the guy from Italy, and he had a Ponzi deal. Return on your money. And everybody was involved, the mayor, the governor, everybody, all the police, the commissioners, everybody was involved. That's in 1920. But that fell apart.
But there was nothing in terms of Herbalife. There was no product
No,
being exchanged.
No,
But I want people to understand that's the difference.
Not Herbalife. Herbalife is doing $4 billion a year.
No, I'm saying these companies offer something.
Oh yeah, they offer a product,
return
a
for what you're
product
buying.
or a service.
That's
Yes,
right.
right.
Which is different than the schemes.
Well, schemes. They call it the money game.
Yes.
The
They're
gift-
offering you money.
They call it gifting, and they do it in Jamaica. They do it in the Dominican Republic. Koreans do it. They you give them $4,000 or $5,000, and when your chance comes around, you get 4,000 or 5,000 times 8.
I was just thinking that. What do you think about the pyramid schemes?
That's
They
what we're
do-
talking about.
That's what I was like.
That's what
Yeah,
you're talking
I
about.
was just thinking that.
Yeah, but
I think it's
that you're not going to stop those.
I was like,
They're
crazy.
still going on even today.
There are people that live on it.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
They pay their dues. They get the extra. They keep their dues on the side,
yeah.
and they pay it again.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody makes money in that circle. The problem is that when one drops out,
Well, many can drop out.
or two, then somebody's going to get short.
It's slow down. Yeah. It's a problem. It's a problem.
But that's not an MLM, is my point. An MLM is a company that is legitimate, like the ones that Russ has in this document. And they offer a service, and they offer a service or a product in return for you buying it.
Yeah. So the latest one now I'm doing is the Super Patch. That company started in the headquarters is in Canada. It started about a year and a half ago, 18 months ago. And they opened Europe. They didn't come to South America or Japan or Malaysia or Hong Kong, the Asian markets yet. It's on its way. But in that year and a half, they did $100 million last year in all of Europe, 36 countries in Europe, Poland, Switzerland, Italy, UK, England, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So they're doing $100 million a year. So it's a powerful product, and they have these patches you put on, and if you can't sleep, you have need more energy, you need a boost.
They even have one for diabetic type 2.
Yeah, it just came out. Yeah,
So
it just came out.
MLMs and LLCs are the same thing, or they're different?
The MLM
Multi-level marketing.
is a different
Okay.
type of marketing selling technique.
Because it's a home-based business, and you do it from home. You sign up as a distributor with either Amway or Shackley or Herbalife or New Skin or whatever. So many of them, about 50,000 of them out there. But the ones that been around a long time, 30 or more years, they right here in this top 100 here. In the top 100, you have about 20 of them who are doing over $1 billion a year. But
And sometimes there are, you ever heard of you buy into a subscription for $10.99?
Mm-hmm.
And when you pay that per month, you get all these different things. You get shows, you get coupons, you get this, you get that, you get this. It's a pay subscription. You have to agree to join for it to be legal. They can't draft you in. You have to agree to pay it.
Yeah, you sign up as a distributor, yeah.
That is the opportunity. Like if I were to work with Russell, the opportunity to sell the patches to other people. And other people in here have used them. I still use them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But it's growing.
I remember
It's coming. They're just going to open. They're opening in recent days in Puerto Rico, Mexico, and Colombia, and then after they do that, maybe next year they go to Japan, Malaysia, Hong Kong, Singapore, South Korea, and Vietnam and Thailand and all those countries. They haven't gone there yet, so that's the potential. In contrast, now there's another company called LifeWave that's been out there about 10 years. And one guy I know up in West Palm Beach, he's been in it about 3 years. Steve Merritt, people know his name. He's making $90,000 a week with that. So what can I say? Some people know how to do it and get those big numbers, and other people can make a nice living.
Well, the object of the game is if you're using them and you sell them and you talk to people, all sorts of people have all sorts of needs.
Oh, absolutely.
And the patch
Absolutely.
has a need. Just how many now? Like 14?
20 now.
So somewhere along the line, this patch is going to give you a sense of feel to whatever ails you. Like I gave one to my son Gio in Tampa, and he put it on. 5 minutes later, he was walking around.
Yeah, for balance. Yeah, for balance.
But he was
energy.
walking around with all this energy, Russell.
Yeah.
He did not
Yeah.
notice that he was doing it. But the other 3 people in the room, including myself, we were looking at him, saying, "He looks like a pinball."
Yeah, I remember when you had the patches on. He was
Yeah.
moving around like
So I still have them.
an Olympian.
Yeah. So it's a beginning process, and it looks like it's going to be a good one. So I'm going to put a lot of energy into this one as a last hurrah.
And you're selling the patches, right?
I don't sell the patches. I sell the opportunity.
The opportunity.
Yeah, I don't sell, say, hey, buy these patches from me. They go online and buy the patches from the company, 30-day money back guarantee on whatever they get. And I don't have to carry patches in my pocket. I don't have to carry it in my car. I can just send the people to the websites and sign
And what
up.
is the website?
Mine is Vote for Super Patch. You can do FOR or just number 4. Vote for Super Patch. Now, when I was doing the UFO shows, I got another website, UFO Super Patch. Either one you go to. But since it's business outside of the UFO deal, I say vote for Super Patch.
Now, it's interesting because, again, that technology has got to come from somewhere.
Well, yeah, absolutely. The guy Jay, who invented it, took him 15 years. Finally invented it, put it together. He's president, CEO, and founder of the company, of Super Patch.
And it's like the light bulbs that you introduced us to.
Right.
Do you know I put the light bulb in my bathroom, and it took all the humidity smell out. I just leave it on.
Yes, a unique light bulb.
It's unbelievable.
But you never did get in contact with you, huh?
He had surgery. After that,
He disappeared. He's probably had his challenges. People have their challenges. But he did put it together, a good thing together.
and it works.
Yeah. Any questions about what to do with looking at an opportunity? You want to do your research. You want to do your homework to make sure it's a legitimate company.
Yes.
And that it has a possibility of being around for a while, like Amway. Amway's been around since 1959. That's a long time. If 59, that's what, 64 years. Yeah. A lot of people have been with them a long time.
Now, once people join, let's say your group, then they go out and they pitch the product.
Yeah, well, the opportunity. You show the people. You don't have to do like the early days of this. You can always email or text people your link,
Right.
and they can see with it, and they go through the videos and look at it. Or you can say, if they go to Super Patch, vote for Super Patch, then they can see all the patches. And then there's videos there for explaining what it does and how to come in, what the cost you might want to spend a certain amount of cost associated with coming in. The lowest part I think is about $300, and then $400 and $500 and $600, $1,000 or maybe more for the people who have holistic health practitioners, allopathic doctors. Holistic health practitioners, they want more patches because they put them in the shop and they have it for the patients. You know.
Right. It gives
Yeah.
the business owner a new opportunity
Right.
to
Absolutely.
enhance their business, depending on what it is. you're
Another
trying-
stream of income. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. So, and these days and I say, look at not just network marketing, and that's okay, but look at any kind of home-based business that you'd like to do, that you think you can do well with, and dedicate yourself to that.
Do you need training?
Well, of course you do. Look, most people, I stumbled for many years about all this, and my first many years without giving, like another guy named Horton Buggs. You might want to punch him up. Horton Buggs. He started in Amway, and he said the best he could do for the first 7 years to make $500 a month. Then after the $500 a month, he had to pay his downline in those days. But the company pays all that now. So, but since then, he's made $68 million in network marketing.
Unbelievable.
From home.
It's a good thing he got started.
Huh?
It's a good thing he got started. And you don't just join and don't educate yourself.
No, you got to educate yourself.
You got to keep going.
You look, you want to listen to the guys who are doing the seminars like Bob Proctor, Les Brown, Mark Victor Hansen. I mean, they got seminars on this. They got books like The Magic of Thinking Big, The Science of Getting Rich by Waddles. You got Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. You got all these people who have written. I even read a book here because I had to learn how to do it. And that's absolutely everything you need to know about prospecting. So after I started making about, a couple $100,000 a year, I decided to do the book. I was making $30,000 a month and $40,000 a month and $70,000 a month on a regular basis. And so it's all documented here. But getting started, you might stumble through a couple days. And now here's one company. I kept track of all the monthly income when I started with that company. Right, 3
Wow.
minutes. Right.
There's some big numbers here.
Yeah.
This is your numbers?
No, the numbers of the company.
Oh, I was about to say.
Yeah.
It's a good thing we know him.
No. It's not how much you make; it's how much you keep. Like baseball players, basketball players,
That's
football
true.
players.
That's
Yeah.
true.
They don't keep it
They don't.
because nobody's teaching them financial
But
literacy.
do you
No
know
literacy of
a sports
financial.
athlete pays tax in every state that he plays in?
Yeah.
So in 162 games in a major league season, you have to hit every state to play, right?
They,
You got to pay tax in every state.
all right, but
Yeah.
if you know how to manage your money,
Canada.
which most people don't know how to do, then you can make, like I tell people, I made $8 million, but I got $8 left. So that happens. 2 minutes, okay. Listen, for anybody who wants to know anything about network marketing, I got books, I got suggestions, and I've done a lot of training and a lot of organizing around this. You can always give me a call, and that's 561-562-0100, 561-562-0100. And Freddie, I thank you very much for being here.
No, thank you.
Thank you. I hope you got something out of it. And see you
You might
next time.
any-
And I'll have a guest each week talking about it.
It's an interesting point, and the way things are, they passed the bill last night in the House. It's a wreck, man.
It is.
It's cutting stuff out from all over the place.
I know it's going to be a challenge for the next 3 or 4 or 5 years.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Thanks very much for listening. Appreciate it. See you next week. My number again is 561-562-0100. Have a good one. Thanks for listening.
AMP Media Productions presents Tell Us Your... This has been Tell Us Your Business, where a special guest comes on every week and tells us what they do. All shows can be seen on AMP Media Productions, and if you wish to be a guest, call 888-994-4995 Studio A and tell us about your business. That's 888-994-4995 Studio A.